Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Sri Sukdev Goswami said, O King, after hearing all these most virtuous topics from the sage Maitreya, Vidura inquired further on the topics of the personality of Godhead, which he adored to hear. The word Adirta is significant because it indicates that Vidura had a natural inclination for hearing the transcendental message of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he was never fully satisfied, though continuing to hear those topics. He wanted to hear more and more so that he could be more and more blessed by the transcendental message. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Nisamya vacham vadato mone punya tamam nirpaha bhuya prapach kauravyo vasudev katha dirtaha. So, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, this is a new chapter. As we know, the Bhagavatam discussion happened between Sukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. But they are Sukdev Goswami narrating the talk between Maitreya and Vidura. So we have seen in the beginning, when Vidura met Uddhava, Uddhava has explained something about Krishna, and before speaking about Krishna, he went into the great ecstasy. He was not able to speak. When he heard, I have to speak about Krishna. So that is the deep attachment that devotees has for the Lord. Then Uddhava direct Vidura to the Maitreya, and the discussion is happening between Vidura and Maitreya. So Vidura is asking some inquiries, and Maitreya, being the great devotee, and also he had heard about spiritual subject matter from, to whom he had heard? Krishna. And Krishna was speaking to the Uddhava, who was sitting hearing Maitreya. So he had got this knowledge from Lord directly, and here Vidura, he want to hear more and more. And it is said, Vasudev Katha Adirtaha. Adirta means one who so adores. Adores means natural inclination to natural inclination or attachment towards something. So Vidura had naturally to hear more and more about Krishna. So this is one of the quality of a devotee. He wished to hear about the Lord more and more, because he has developed transcendental love for Krishna. So even though one may not have developed love for Krishna at the beginning, but still by hearing about Krishna, gradually, slowly, in the beginning, hearing about Krishna will work like a ausadhi. Nirivitya tarshiye upgiyamanat bhav osadat shot mano abhiramat ka uttam islok gunanuvarnat poman birjet bina pasukhanat. So in the beginning, Sukdev Goswami of the 10th canto is saying, Ka uttam islok. Ka means who. Who will be, who does not like to hear about Krishna? Because if he is nirvitta tarshiya, he does not have any material desire, completely liberated souls, then for him it works like a chot manva viramat, very pleasing to the ear, to mind, and he can release. Who is a liberated souls. And second category, he is not liberated, but he is trying to be liberated. Like sadhakas. For them also, it will help them to reach the right destination very fast. And those are completely materialistic. They are not even inclined toward liberation. For them, it will work like Osadhi meditation. So, the description about Krishna Katha. Now, Prabhupada says there are two varieties of Krishna Katha. Bhagavad Gita is Katha which is spoken by Krishna. The knowledge spoken by Krishna. And Srimad Bhagavatam is about Krishna. So, both are Krishna Katha. So, when hear Krishna Katha, the natural inclination, Cheto Darpana Marjanam happens. His heart becomes cleansed. But Krishna Katha is so wonderful, even though one may be, Prabhupada writes in the one of the Parpat in the 10th canto, even though one may be completely materialistic, but still he relish. Especially the childhood pastimes of Krishna as unparalleled. So that's a region in the Vrindavan. They all are busy about talking Krishna and hearing about Krishna. In Vrindavan, two things are most prominent: Shravan and Kirtana. Cowherd boys, when they go along with Krishna, then they will be all glorifying Krishna Balarama. Now, the gopis are meditating when the Lord's going to the forest in the early morning. They are saying, Barha Pidam Natavar Bapu Kalno Kalnikaram Bibrata Vasham Kanaka Kapisham Bejanti Cham Malam Randra Vedum Adhara Sudhya Punyan Gopa Vindi Vinda Aranyam Swapad Ramanam Pravish Geet Kirti. Geet Kirti means they're talking, glorifying Krishna. So Aranya Swapad Ramanam. So when Krishna is walking in the Vrindavan, so the initially two lines describe the makeup or the decoration of Krishna from Barha Pidam Natabarbapu Karno Karnikaram. Now Krishna have a beautiful peacock feather, Barha Pidam, Natabarbapu. Krishna is never straight, he is always Tribhanga. She is always in dancing pose. So Natabarbapu Karno Karnikaram. And Krishna especially put the Karnikaram flower. It's called blue flower for the rice. And Krishna, where he put like this. Not some devotee they put in, when you get some flower. Bangalore, you find some. So they put two flowers like this. So Karno Karnikaram. And Bibrata Vasham Kanaka Kapisham. Bibrata Vasham. Kanak means gold. So he wear the golden, yellowish garments. And Bejanti Malam. And he has always Bejanti Mala. The forest flower. Beautiful one. The garland. Krishna likes to have a beautiful garlands. And even the Gopas and the Krishna Balaram, they like the natural flowers and the leaves. So even though the Yashoda Maya, Rohini Maya and all elderly gopis, they decorate their children very beautifully, all Gopas. But when they go to the forest, again they will decorate themselves. They'll bring some flower here, there, they put here, somewhere. They decorate themselves. So, or sometimes they decorate each other so that they always win that thought. So, yeah, Bejanti Chamalam, Randra Velum. Randra means holes, Velum means the Bansuric holes. Randra Velum, Adhar Sudhya. Adhar means the Sudhya means the nectarian lips. See, gopis are very much envious of Venu. Gopis is only sometimes, rarely we get Adhar Sudhya, the nectarian lips of Krishna to taste. But this Venu is simply as bamboo. She is such a fortune, she always having the nectarian lips of Krishna. So, Adhar Sudhya, Purnyan Koop Vrinde. Or Krishna is never alone, he is always Brinde. Brinde means Brinda, together, Gopas. So this sloka being recited by Sukadeva Goswami, how the gopis are meditating when Krishna is away from Vrindavan. Then Brinda Ranyam, Sopad Ramanam, or Krishna is walking on the Vrindavan. Sopad, with his feet. Other day we have discussed when Krishna become little grown up, when he's supposed to go to herding the cows. So Yashodamaya was very concerned. When Krishna goes, very rough surface, lot of bubbles will be there, some thorn will be there. So that might hurt. Krishna's feet are very, very soft. So she prepared a beautiful small shoes for Krishna. And Yashodamaya gave to Krishna, please you wear, then you go. Then Krishna says, if you want me to wear the shoes, then you make shoes for all of my cows. So this is 9 lakhs cows are there. So 9 into 4, 36 lakhs shoes you make, then only you can wear. So Krishna never wore the footwears or the shoes in Vrindavan. And when Krishna used to walk, Krishna Thal Kantur described Kapil Dev and Devuti description. What are the beautiful signs that Krishna's lotus feet had? So the beautiful, there's a chakra, there's a elephant driving this thing. So many other the beautiful signs are there. So when Krishna used to walk in the Vrindavan, and it's a very soft clay in Vrindavan, so that impression he has to get made. And the whole Vrindavan will be decorated or will be ornamented by the beautiful footprint of Krishna, the whole Vrindavan. And also, when Krishna's footprints are there, not to speak of Gopas, Gopis and Vrindavan person, even the monkeys, the deer, the Vrindavan will not disturb. Even the squirrel, if you disturb, they will go like this one. They will not trample where the Krishna's beautiful, even it is said, Vrindavan here also have respect for the beautiful footprint. That's the reason when we heard of, when Akrura comes to Vrindavan, as soon as he sees the footprint, he jumped over to roll on the dust where the Krishna has walked on this beautiful footprint. So Brindaranyam Supadaramanam Pravishit. Pravishit means entering. Geet Kirti. So when Krishna Valam is going, there's a decoration there, and whole covered boys are there. Last class we discussed how many Gopas Krishna has. What class? Some other class. How many Gopas Krishna has? Somewhere is mentioned 300 billion. We are discussing some class. How these many Gopas can come? Vrindavan is very small. So somebody was asking me last time when we were discussing. Balram Jayanti we were discussing. Some guest were there. So it says 300 billions Gopas. And sometimes the Nanda Bhavan is so huge, they can come. And they all come. Basically, they come early in the morning. And once it so happens, they all cowherd boys, they comes little early in the morning to the Nanda Bhavan. So there's some waiting area. Yashoda Maiya, Rohini Maiya, Krishna Balam, then inside. They are decorating Krishna Balam. That day little, they got late to decorate them. So they have to decorate very nicely. So that all boys they come, Gopas they came. All small, somebody is yellow, dhoti, somebody pink, somebody green, somebody this, all having their lathi, some pagdi and all they have. And they all came, they are waiting. So they don't wait, sit there, Gopal. Jumping here, there, hitting there, all they were doing. So they waited for a long time to Krishna Balam to come. Then to Krishna Balam, very beautifully they decorate Yashoda Maiya and Rohini Maiya, and they comes there. So once Krishna Balam they came there, that particular day, what so happens, it's one small butterfly, titli. Somebody comes and by roaming, and Balramji has a beautiful pagadi, the blue colors. The butterfly comes titli and sit on the pagadi of Balramji. Balramji says, what is this? Balramji is trying to he go out. What is this cow? It's not ordinary butterfly. It's a titli, it's a Vrindavan, it's all unique. He was trying something. So Balam said, Krishna, something is there. So then Gopas said, oh, Balramji, the titli has come. So all Gopas come. She is not getting fly. She is not leaving the pagadi of Balram. They try both. So Balam says, Krishna, please help me. So Krishna says, oh Titli, you know who is Balram? Sankarshana. He is the king of Brija. So please go out from this place. So Titli, yes. Balram is king, so it's not good to sit on this thing there. So the Titli goes out of the pagadi of Balram. And after some time, after roaming some day, again comes and sits on the hand of Krishna. So some beautiful pastime is being mentioned. So Krishna is again trying to take out, he's not going. They come, try to, some of us, he is not leaving. And Krishna come very much afraid. What is this? He's not going. She might eat my hand also. So then Krishna is like, Yashoda Maiya, the titli has come, is not going. So the Rohini Maiya, Yashoda Maiya comes, keeps running. And there's a furthermore pastime with a lot of what titli comes and they sit on the whole body of Krishna and everything. And the further pastime goes on. So actually the Vrindavan Leela, Krishna descend only for purpose to attract by his beautiful pastime Leela, what is happening in the Golok Vrindavana. So to attract the attention. And it is said that in the Vatsal Rasha, Yashoda Maiya is the topmost. Like Radharani in the conjugal love, similarly in the Vatsal Rasha, the love which Yashoda Maiya have for Krishna is unparalleled. And it so happens one day, Yashoda Maiya decorate Krishna and Krishna is about to go for the cow herding. So he goes out, generally he takes the cows or calves and about to go, Yashoda Maiya come, stop Krishna 1 minute, stop one Krishna. What happened, Maiya? So Maiya comes and, oh, your peacock feather is not right properly, like this. See, adjust the peacock feather. Then again Krishna start going. Hey Krishna, stop, minute. this chaddar na, in the kamar mein Bhagwan band, it's not like this, it should be there. Okay, Maya, okay. Then again, hey, Krishna, stop. Your garland is not. So like this, she came around half of the way. Krishna said, what is Maya? You're coming with me to guarding the cow. Please go home. So she don't want to leave the association of Krishna. Such a great and Prabhupada says, even she do not know Krishna as a God, but she has so much love for Krishna, unparalleled. Similarly, the cowherd boys. So daytime Krishna will have association with them, or the Gopas will have association of Krishna. So they will all keep roaming, enjoying with Krishna. When the evening used to come, they will not be very happy, because now they have to separate out and go to their houses, their respected houses. So one day so happens, they all, when they disperse, they all goes to different houses. So one of the Gopas get up very early in the morning and get ready everything. And they all used to come to the house of Nanda Maharaj. From there they used to go. He comes very early and knock the door. Suddenly Yashoda may come. What is this you are doing? No, we have to go herding cows. You know what is time? 12 o'clock midnight. What is it? Go and sleep. Oh. So that's they're always thinking of Krishna. Mam anushnamam yudnacha maya arpita mano buddhe. So that remembrance of Krishna will come by hearing about Krishna. Prabhupada mentioned is one beautiful one of the lecture in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. Prabhupada says, the result is by hearing. One day you will be able to conquer over the unconquerable Krishna. So Krishna can be conquered only by hearing. Krishna is unconquerable. Nobody can conquer him, but you hear. You will be able to conquer him simply by hearing about him. Therefore, this hearing process is so important from the right source. Jnane piraso utpashnamantiva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavutiya bharatam isthane sthiti sutigatam tanuman mano. So Krishna can be conquered only by hearing about him. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says regarding this, when the Bhakti Lata, creeper, can grow by Shravan and Kirtana. It's called watering process, called Sichne ka process hai. By hearing and chanting is about, you hear, then you speak about Krishna. So as much as you hear about Krishna, you wish to speak about Krishna to others. And when we speak about Krishna, hear about Krishna, then you will be able to remember Krishna. So remembering, if you want to remember Krishna, always remember Krishna, never forget him. Satatam. Smartavyam satatam Vishnu, Vishmartavyam na jatute, sarvidhi nishasthasa, eat evina kinkara. So that the principle is always remember Krishna, never forget him. Or remembering Krishna will be there when you hear about Krishna. One place Prabhupada says, when devotee was not very inclined to read his books, hear about him. So Prabhupada says, see, if I'm trying to build up this Hare Krishna conscious movement, if you have not inclination to about reading or hearing about Krishna, then I'm installing the Vigraha, they become Galagraha. Whatever service we do, if we do not hear about Krishna, gradually, slowly, they become mechanical and we lose the taste. Prabhupada says, what you see Krishna, unless you hear about Krishna, whatever you see, you will not be able to understand anything. So if you hear about Krishna, then if you see Krishna, your vision will be different. You can access Krishna, you can touch Krishna by hearing. So, all the places, even in the 10th canto, first chapter, one of the summary Prabhupada is writing, hearing of Krishna Leela is a boat by which to achieve the ultimate goal of life. By Krishna Leela, hearing about the Krishna Leela, one able to achieve our desired result to go back to Krishna. So, as I said, even the Vrindavan Vasis, they're always talking about. Now see, throughout the day, the Gopals will be the outside with the Krishna. When they come back, they will whatever happened throughout the day, they will narrate to their father and mother, Gopa and Gopis. They will make them say, what has happened today? So they will come and talk about, and they will hear very joyfully, and they will have very pleasurable experience. Even Mother Yashoda, recently we were hearing in our ashram about when Yashoda Maya was churning, what was happening? She was singing the glories of Krishna. Whatever till that time, whatever the Leela Krishna has performed, she had composed them in a beautiful songs or poetries. The churning, she was always talking about Krishna, glorifying Krishna. So in Vrindavan, everyone is like to hear about Krishna, or they are always busy about talking about Krishna. Now that's a sign of a pure devotee. Mat chitta, mat agata prana, buddhiyantas parashparam. Kathyantas sham nityam tusyanti cha ramanti cha. Nityam is always they are busy about hearing and talking about Krishna. They have no other job. By which process tusyanti cha ramanti cha. They drive great happiness and satisfaction. So hearing about Krishna from the right source, from the pure devotees. Now, sthani sthiti, wherever you are, just hear about Krishna. See, Prabhupada expanded the whole movement by writing the books, and people read the books. Many of them, they have not come in touch with Srila Prabhupada, not even the devotees, not even any so-called any process. They just got the books of Prabhupada. By reading the books, the heart got changed. They understood. So hearing is very, very important. Even we see the case of Parikshit Maharaj. Then he got to know he has to die in 7 days. After 7 days, he left everything, went to the Suktal near to the Ganges. Beautiful, full rishis, Brahma Rishi, Dev Rishi, Raj Rishi, they all were assembled. He had asked, in 7 days I have to die. After 7 days, please tell me the process, so that guarantee I will go back to Krishna Loka. So they are all discussing. Now big meeting is happening. Some question came. What is the solution? What is the answer? They are all discussing. They were not able to ascertain what process has to be applied now in Parikshit Maharaj, so that in 7 days he goes back to Krishna. As we know, when Sukadeva Goswami enters, and again he asked, what should I do? Same question. She never said, do some meditation, or even you worship Vigraha, or do something else, you do some yajna, some tapa. He never said anything. He 7 days he only spoke about Krishna, or Parikshit Maharaj. He heard about Krishna continuously. So Parikshit Maharaj says in the beginning of the mid of second canto, he says, Kathyas Mahabhaga यथाहम अखिलात्मनि कृष्णे निवेश निह संगम मनस्तक्षे कलेवरम. Katyas Mahava. Katyas means please keep speaking, do not stop. Yathaham Akhilatmani. So that what can? Manas Krishne Nivesingam. So that I can put my mind on Krishna. By putting the mind or concentrating on Krishna, think about Krishna, Neh Sangam, we come out from the three modes of material nature. If you hear about Krishna, if you hearing involve your mind, Madhupan Prabhu always says, sometimes we are just simply speaking. It's going to hear, but if mind is not there, we are not hearing. Hearing does not happen from the ear. There is an external thing. Ultimately, hear from the mind. Wherever you mind, you hear that. So many noises will happening, but you hear where the mind is there. So he is saying, Katyas Mahabhaga Yathaham Akhilatmani Krishne Nives Neh Sangam Manastakche Kalevaram. So that when my mind is fixed on you, then I can leave my body. Takche Kalevaram. So please do not stop. So that's the beginning. When after some time, after 5 days, again you want to check. Really, now it's getting too much or whatever to know about Parikshit Maharaj. Then after 5 days, again Sukadeva Goswami says, it's still okay, I can keep speaking, you want some rest, something. We are feeling hungry. You want to have something. So again Parikshit Maharaj is saying, Nesat ahi ati dosa chunmam tyaktodam api badhate. Api badhate is not becoming obstacle. Ati dosaha. Saha means tolerate. Dosa means very difficult to tolerate. Ati dosa means very, very difficult to tolerate. What is very difficult to tolerate? Very difficult to chun means hunger. And thirst means thirst, pyas. Bhook or pyas. Hunger and thirst are very, very difficult to tolerate. Even though it's very difficult to tolerate, na badhyate is not becoming obstacles to me. Why? Pivantam tvam mukham bhojam chutam hari katham mirtam. Because I am pivantam, I am drinking. What I am drinking? I am drinking from ear. I am drinking from ear. What? Hari katham mirtam. So those Vrindavan Vasis, they are always ready or always hearing about Krishna. Always glorifying Krishna, Shravan Kirtana. Even the cows, the calves, when they hear the flute of Krishna, sometime Prabhupada explains in the Krishna book, when the calves are drinking the milk from the cows, so by having the nipples or thumbs on the mouth and drinking, and by when they hear the Krishna's flute, what happens? The ear become erect. Now sometimes we want to erect, we want to hear, something. What is somebody said? It's like ear. And so much so that they get an ecstasy by hearing that, they somehow, by drinking the mouth, they the milk is coming out from the mouth. So hearing is a very important process, and putting the mind on hearing. Even Prahlad Maharaj says, Tvat Veer Gayan Mahamrit Magna Chitta. Because my mind is absorbed about Veer Gayan, by hearing about glories of Krishna. नैभोद विजय पर दुरत्त वेतन्यास तद वीर गायन महामृत मग्न चित्ता सोचे ततो विमुख चेतस इंद्रियार्था माया सुखाया भरम उद्वहतो विमूढ़ान ना एवा उद्वजे. Udvijay means disturb. I am not at all disturbed. Par durat vetanyas, about this horrible material world, I am not at all disturbed. Why? Because Tad Veer Gayan Mahamrit Magna Chatta. Because my mind is absorbed about hearing about your glories. So when our mind is absorbed about thinking about Krishna, about hearing about Krishna, then we won't feel the pangs of this material world. Otherwise, this material world is very horrible. Padam padam yate vipadam. So devotees, they are always hearing, as Prahlad is saying, about glories of Krishna. So they are not at all disturbed by the threefold miseries of this material world. But they are thinking about soche tato vimukh chetas indiyartha maya sukhaya. But thinking about those person who made their goal is maya sukhaya. They think by just temporary fluttering, illusory enjoyment they will be happy. Their goal is that. So here Prahlad Maharaj also said, by hearing they are experiencing the transcendental pleasure, so they are least bothered about the material miseries. They are not concerned, and actually they don't feel it because they are enjoying the higher taste, hearing about Krishna. Similarly, the Dhruv Maharaj also says, what does Dhruv Maharaj says? Anyone remember? Bhavad gun kathamrit panamatta. Bhakti muhu pravtam tvai me prashango bhuyad anant mahatam amla shayanam esan jashol vanan uru vaishanam bhavabdhim nese bhavat gun kathamrit panmatha. Pan means tasting. Matta means mad. He is saying, I am becoming mad about Bhavat Gun Kathamritam, about hearing about your glories from your devotees. So Prahlad Maharaj said, by just hearing about your glories, I will cross over. I have no bother about. I am becoming mad to hear about your transcendental qualities, pastime, which are eternally existing, and which is the way to cross over this material world. So it's a beautiful purport you can all go through. So where Prabhupada is writing how important is to hear about Krishna. Dharmas sunastata pumsham vissakshemi kathasviyam na utapatit yati ratim samhyevi kevalam. Again, sunastana pumsham vissakshemi kathasviyam. Hearing about Krishna again, kathasviyam. If by any activity if you do, if it does not help you to develop a direction about hearing about Krishna as a sram evi kevalam, useless level. So the whole devotional process is meant to develop attachment about hearing about Krishna. Dharma sanastata pumsam vissaksheme katha suya na utpatit yati ratim sham evi. So that constant hearing, developing attachment about hearing about Krishna should be there. So how to develop that hearing so that we can develop about hearing about Krishna? So it is mentioned, as we know in the first canto, second chapter, the famous verse where it is developed by the the two things we should do hearing about Krishna is said, Shu Shushusho Siddhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahat Sevya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishirvanat. Shu Shushuno Siddhanasya. By hearing about with Shraddha, with a faith. And Syan Mahat Sevya Vipra, by serving the pure devotees. So when we serve the pure devotee, or when we hear about Krishna with Shraddha, then we develop called Vasudeva Kastaruchi. The Ruchi is very important. If we do not have Ruchi about carrying Krishna, so we cannot hear for the long time. So that Ruchi, the inclination, can be developed by serving pure devotees and hearing about Shraddha. Even Prabhupada says, for in his case, Bhakti Thakur Maharaj always has to appreciate Prabhupada. He used to say, he is this person you want to always hearing from me. He is always used to ask when next, Prabhupada used to call him his Guru also Prabhupada Bhakti Thakur. When Prabhupada is going to speak again. And as once so happens, Prabhupada narrate many places. And once in the Vrindavan, a lot of devotees there, I think some Kartik Mas was there. So a lot of devotees had come. So after the Mangala Aarti, they had an announcement. There is going some party for Govardhan Parikrama and visit to the different places. Those who want, they can go. And otherwise, today, after morning time, Prabhupada is going to address about Bhagavatam or about Krishna. So those who wish to, they can stay back. So only few devotees stay back. And Bhakti Thakur Maharaj noticed Prabhupada was still there. So Prabhupada says, I'm very happy to know you would like to hear from me. So hearing is a basic principle. And so Shuddhadhana said that, O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely free from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing about Vasudeva Katha. And when this affinity is there about Vasudeva Katha, then slowly or gradually, Vidunoti Suhit Satam. Our heart gets purified by Shavatam Sahakatha Krishna Punya Shravan Kirtana. Hirdayantas to Hai Abhadrani, all Abhadra, or impurity of the heart will go by hearing. And hearing is the topmost virtuous activities. So if we see full Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, everywhere is Shravan. Aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam iti mattva bhajanta. How you get to know about this? By hearing. If we do not hear, how we get to know about Krishna? And when we got to know Krishna, then only we can be truly engaged and the real love and attachment for Krishna will be arising. So we see the case of Arjuna. Before Bhagavad Gita he heard, and after hearing Bhagavad Gita. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, what Arjuna said? Nasta moha smriti labdva tad prasada. What is that? Mayajut. Istatosmi gat sandeya karshe vachanam tava. So, smriti labdva or nasto moha. Moha get nast by hearing. So hearing process has to be done meticulously, systematically, so that we are thickly immersed into the darkness of this material world can be removed. So, yeah, so Hridyantastva Vadrani Vidhunoti Suhit Sadam. So, Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is Paramatma, Supersoul in everyone's heart, the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of a devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, always hearing about Krishna. Even in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, when Bhagavatam is started, it says, Sadhyo Hirdi Arudhyate Atra Kritivi Shushuvit Tachara. Dharma Projit Ketav Atra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam Vedyam Vasutam Atra Vastu Shividam Tapatrona Mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Kirti Kimba Pare Ishwari. What is anything other than Bhagavatam is required? Why? Sadhyo. Sadhyo means immediately. Hirdi avaradhate Kirtivi Suchitat Chanat. So, Prabhupada writes in the translation, last he says, as soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord Krishna is established or get compacted within the heart. So we see how the hearing about Krishna, and that same thing we said, by chanting Hare Krishna, you should hear about Krishna. And other than also hearing about Krishna, about knowing about Krishna is very important. Some 2 days back, I got a quote from Prabhupada. Somebody has forwarded here and there. So Prabhupada is writing, it is striking to me. Prabhupada is writing, those are intelligent. I want to speak to only those. Otherwise, Hrinam Sankirtan is for the general mass. So, if we go to the depth and understand, unless even by chanting we require to know about Krishna. See, unless we have this Krishna conscious knowledge, philosophy, what is Krishna, who am I, what is this all about, till then your hearing will not happen properly and it will be some method. Now it is said, if you do not know about Krishna, chant Krishna, Krishna as a very, very pious activities. It's not a bhakti. Bhakti means you should know about the person. You should know love. Bhakti means devotional service. Means loving service. So knowing about Krishna is also very, very important. So that we can get to know about Krishna when we read about Prabhupada books, we hear from Srila Prabhupada. More and more may we hear, more and more we develop attachment to Krishna and the pure devotees. And Prabhupada says, these are not my writings, it's Krishna's writing. Because whenever I write, Krishna comes and dictates and I write. Prabhupada says, I have come here to just write these books. So Prabhupada, many places discloses how important to hear about Krishna, to read about Krishna from a pure devotee. By doing so, we'll be rightly situated and we can render true devotional service. So we see in the case of Parikshit Maharaj, we have seen in Arjuna, we have seen Dhruv Maharaj, we have seen the Prahlad Maharaj, all they wish to hear more about Krishna. Even as he said in the Vrindavan Vasi, they are always busy or talking about Krishna, or hearing about Krishna, or glorifying about Krishna. So that by Prabhupada, by hearing, it so happen, you open the eyes, you are then the Golok Dham. There's a hearing. We keep hearing something or reading about it, we open the we have come to Golok, still we are reading the same thing. So that reading also will be there in the Golok Dham about hearing about. Prabhupada used to read his own books. Very striking. The author is reading and relishing. Prabhupada asked his devotees, there is a lot of conversation. Ask, please read this Krishna, this chapter, Krishna book, especially Krishna book. So devotee used to hear. So one day, Prabhupada, you only have written. So what is this hearing out? They no, I only have written like this thing. But Krishna has dictated. So that's a Krishna's dictated. So we can touch Krishna by hearing. And Pada always used to say, as he said in the beginning, what we can see Krishna, we have to hear about Krishna, then actually we are able to touch Krishna. So that is very important. So we'll be seeing further how we see here how Vidra was so much inclined and is naturally he is very much inclined about hearing about Krishna, and he is appreciating how important it is to hear. And that's the reason it is said that Vidura had a natural inclination for hearing the transcendental message of Supreme Lord, and he was never fully satisfied, though continuing to hear those topics. Even though he was hearing, but he was never said, please, 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 like intoxicant person. Somebody intoxicated, whatever you drink is not sufficient. Give me one more. So here Vidura is asking, please, please continue. Like Parikshit Maharaj, please keep speaking about Krishna. See, he wanted to hear more and more, again and again. It's not once heard is over. You can read Krishna book n number of times. So he wanted to hear more and more, again and again, so that he could be more and more blessed by the transcendental message. So we'll be saying how Vidura got so much benefited, or even not only Vidura, even the person Bhaktaram, Prachikam, Shottam. Three people, those who hear. That Bhaktaram, speaker, Prachikam is inquirer, and Shottam is my hearer. Like Ganges, all three were purified. Same Krishna Katha purify, the speaker, the inquirer, and also the listener. So all they get purified by hearing about Krishna. I will stop here. Vrindavan Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Nitai Go Prem Nande.